take care of this.
Shouldn't you log that in the found items system?
That's a serious allegation, Delia.
Tyler saw it, the young man at the front desk. Found in the penthouse suite this morning, handed to the front desk manager at 9:23, not entered into the found property law corporate lost property protocol.
Arrest her. She is the thief.
No, I'm innocent, please.
Craig Devlin told the police she stole it. He said it the way people say things they have prepared. Not quickly, carefully, with the specific rhythm of a sentence built in advance for a room that contains a uniform and a badge. He said it standing in the hotel manager's office with his jacket on, the door half open, and the expression of a man who has been in charge of something for long enough to believe that being in charge is the same thing as being right. Delia Washington was in the corridor outside that door. She had been asked to wait there. She had been waiting for 22 minutes. She was still in her work clothes. The grey and white uniform with the Meridian Grand insignia on the left chest. Her cleaning cart was at the end of the hall where she had left it when the front desk called her number. She had a bottle of glass cleaner in her apron pocket. She had not thought to take it out. She could hear Craig Devlin's voice through the half-open door. She could not hear every word. She could hear the shape of it. She had been hearing that shape her entire working life, and she knew what it meant without needing to pass every sentence. It meant, not her. Not someone like her. Not a woman who cleans rooms for 11 years and raises a son alone and saves in increments so small they require a different relationship to numbers than most people ever develop. She knew what the shape meant. She had reported the envelope anyway. Before this story goes where it has to go, pause here and drop your city in the comments. Nashville, Birmingham, Toronto, Johannesburg. Wherever you are watching this from, we want to know. This story starts in a hotel corridor and it ends somewhere that I think you can already feel coming. Drop your city and stay with it. Now, back to Delia. Delia Washington had been cleaning rooms at the Meridian Grand since she was 31 years old. Not because it was what she had planned. Because it was what was there when Marcus was 9 and his father was gone, and the job her cousin knew about had health insurance and started the same week she needed a paycheck. She had taken it as a temporary measure. She had stayed because temporary measures, in certain kinds of lives, have a way of becoming permanent when the bills continue and the alternatives don't clarify themselves. 11 years. Every floor of the hotel at one time or another. The standard rooms on 5 through 12. The junior suites on 13 and 14. The executive floor on 15, where the bathrooms had radiant heat and the guests' luggage cost more than her car. And the penthouse, the 19th floor, the suite with the corner view of the Cumberland River and the city below, which she had cleaned perhaps 40 times across the years, always by specific assignment, always when the occupant was a particular category of guest who had paid a particular rate and received a particular level of service that included a housekeeper who had been vetted and whose record showed no incidents. Her record showed no incidents. 11 years. She was proud of this in the specific private way of someone who knows the pride is theirs and does not require an audience. She knew the hotel the way people know places they have inhabited for a decade, not every room, but the quality of a corridor at different hours, what it sounds like when the building is occupied versus empty, which guests would tip and which wouldn't look at her, which managers covered which floors on which days, and what it meant when a senior manager appeared on a floor where they had no operational reason to be. She knew Craig Devlin. She had known him for 7 of her 11 years, since he came up from the assistant manager role to manage the property. He was 53. He drove a car that was too expensive for what the hotel paid him. He wore cologne that people commented on from across rooms. He had a way of talking to the housekeeping staff, not cruelly, not with any single word that could be cited or reported, but with the specific comfortable distance of someone who had organized his understanding of the hotel into categories of who mattered and who performed a function, and who had placed the housekeeping staff firmly and permanently in the latter. He had never called Delia by her name. In 7 years, he had never once called her by name. Her son Marcus was 21. He was in his 2nd year at Nashville State Community College, studying electrical engineering. Not because it was his first choice, but because his first choice was Tennessee State and the tuition was $18,000 a year, and he had sat at the kitchen table with Delia and done the math and said, 2 years at Nashville State and then transfer. I can do that. He had said it without bitterness. She had watched him say it and understood that he had arrived at the decision before he brought it to the table. That he had already done his own version of absorbing a constraint and finding the path through it, the same way she had absorbed a decade of corrections and found the path through each one. He worked Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at a BP station on Gallatin Pike. The overnight shift, 11 to 7. He did his coursework in the afternoons. He called her every morning when he got home from work, even if she was already at the hotel, even if all he had was 3 minutes before he crashed for sleep. He called because he knew she would be awake, and that the 30 seconds of his voice was the thing that made the morning make sense. Delia had a savings account. It had $14,200 in it. She had been putting $60 to $90 a month into it for 3 years. The account was named, in her own system, Marcus's Future. It was not for any particular thing. It was for the specific thing that would present itself when Marcus needed something she could not produce otherwise. The debt payoff, the year abroad he had mentioned once and then immediately retracted, the wedding she could not afford not to contribute to, whatever it turned out to be. She did not know what it would be used for. She knew it would be needed. The Meridian Grand's penthouse suite had been occupied the previous 3 nights by a guest registered under the name W. Okafor, company card on file, cash settled at checkout. The checkout had been at 5:15 in the morning, early enough to avoid the lobby's daytime traffic, the kind of checkout time that certain guests requested and that the hotel accommodated because those guests paid the penthouse rate, which was $2,200 a night. Delia had been assigned to the penthouse clean at 8:30. She had arrived with her cart, keyed in, moved through the suite in the order she always moved through suites: entry, sitting room, bedroom, bathroom, minibar restock, surfaces. She was thorough and fast. 11 years had given her both simultaneously, which was the combination that earned the penthouse assignment. She was wiping the writing desk in the sitting room when she saw the envelope. It was a standard cream-colored hotel stationery envelope, the kind available in the desk drawer of every room in the building. It was sealed. It was addressed to no one, no name, no room number, no instruction of any kind. It was sitting in the center of the desk, which had otherwise been cleared, in the specific placement of something that had been put there deliberately. She picked it up. It was heavy. Heavier than a folded letter. Heavier than anything she could explain as paper. She held it in both hands and felt the weight of it shift slightly, the specific weight of something that had density and could flex. She set it down. She stood at the desk for a moment and looked at it. She had been in this suite 40 times. She had found forgotten items before, a watch worth more than her car, a passport, cash left as tips in amounts that told their own stories about the kind of money that moved through the penthouse floor. She had always handed them in. Always. Without exception. Not because anyone was watching, because it was what you did. She had never taken anything that was not hers. 11 years. No incidents. She picked the envelope back up. She opened it at the flap, just enough to see inside without touching the contents. They were bearer bonds. She did not know them by name. She knew them by what they looked like, which was formal paper instruments with numbers printed on them in a way that communicated, without explanation, that they were serious objects with serious values. She could see the numbers on the ones at the front. She closed the envelope. She put it in her apron pocket. She finished cleaning the suite. She brought the envelope to the front desk at 9:15. The clerk at the desk, a young man named Tyler, 24, who had been at the hotel for 9 months and who maintained the slightly dazed alertness of someone still learning the building's rhythms, took the envelope, looked at it, looked at her, and said he would need to get a manager. He went to get a manager. Craig Devlin came to the desk at 9:23. He was in his jacket. He looked at the envelope in Tyler's hand, then at Delia, then at the envelope again. He opened it. He did not do this privately. He did it standing at the front desk in the hotel lobby in full view of the guest check-in area, which was not empty. He looked at what was inside. Then he looked at Delia with an expression that had 2 things in it simultaneously. The first was the recognition of what he was holding and what it meant, and the second was something else, something that moved quickly across his face before he controlled it, something that a person watching carefully would have recognized as a decision being made. He said, "I'll take care of this." He put the envelope in his jacket pocket. Inner pocket, not outer. He buttoned the jacket. Delia looked at his hand on the jacket. She said, "Shouldn't you log that in the found item system?" Craig Devlin looked at her. He said, "I said I'll take care of it." She looked at Tyler. Tyler was looking at the desk. She said, "I'd like a receipt for the found property. So there's a record I handed it in." Craig Devlin said, "That's not necessary. We have procedures." She looked at him one more time. Then she went back to her cart. She spent the next hour moving through the executive floor rooms on 15. She worked in the specific focused way of someone who is thinking about something else but has learned that the hands can carry on without the brain's full attention when they have done the same task enough times. Her hands stripped and remade 4 beds. Her hands wiped 4 bathrooms. Her brain was doing a different calculation. She had seen him pocket the envelope. Tyler had seen him pocket the envelope. Tyler was 24 and 9 months into the job and would not say a word. She was 42 and 11 years in and understood exactly what that silence would cost if she replicated it. She went to find Keith Morris. Keith Morris was the hotel's general manager. He was above Craig Devlin in the hotel's hierarchy by 2 rungs and was in the building on Tuesdays through Fridays. His office was on the 2nd floor. Delia had spoken to Keith Morris on 2 occasions in 11 years, once in a whole property meeting about new service standards, and once when she had found a fire safety door on the 12th floor that had been propped open against regulation and reported it through the correct channel and been called to his office to confirm the report. He had thanked her. He had said good catch. He had not called her by name either. She knocked on his office door at 10:45. She told him what she had found. She told him she had handed it to Craig Devlin. She told him what Craig Devlin had done with it. Keith Morris listened. He had the specific expression of someone receiving information through a filter, not disbelieving, but processing it through a layer of institutional loyalty that had been built across years of managing upward, and that was, at this moment, performing the calculation of what it would cost him and what it would cost her. He said, "That's a serious allegation, Delia." It was the first time a manager at the Meridian Grand had used her name in 11 years. She said, "Tyler saw it. The young man at the front desk. Morris said he would look into it." She said, "When?" He said, "I'll need to speak with Craig." She said, "The envelope needs to be in the found property log before the end of the day. If the guest is looking for it, or whoever the owner is, that's how they'd start. The log." Morris said, "I understand the procedure." She said, "Then you know it hasn't been followed." She went back to work. She called the hotel's non-emergency line for guest relations at noon. She asked to speak to the property's lost and found coordinator. She reported a found property item, a sealed envelope containing what appeared to be financial instruments, found in the Penthouse suite this morning, handed to the front desk manager at 9:23, not entered into the found property log as of noon. The coordinator, a woman named Linda who was 63 years old and had been in hotel operations for 38 years and who had heard most of what there was to hear in this industry, asked Delia to repeat the details. Delia repeated them. Linda wrote them down. Linda said she would escalate this to corporate lost property protocol. Then Delia called the Nashville Metro Police non-emergency line. She explained the situation simply. A found property item of significant apparent value, reported to the hotel manager, not logged in the property system. Manager retained it personally. She gave her name, her contact number, and the name of the guest who had occupied the room. She asked if there was a report number she should keep. There was. She went back to work for the rest of the afternoon. She finished her floor assignments. She handed in her cart at 5. She drove home to the apartment on Hermitage Avenue, made pasta, left Marcus's portion covered on the stove, and sat at the kitchen table with her hands around a glass of water. She had been home for 40 minutes when Marcus called from work on his break. She heard the gas station's fluorescent hum behind his voice. "Good day," he asked. Unusual, she said. Good unusual or bad unusual? Don't know yet, she said. He made a sound that was somewhere between a laugh and a question, and said he'd call when he got home in the morning. She said she'd be up. She always was. She went to bed. She slept less than she expected and more than she feared. The police came to the hotel at 11:40 the following morning. There were 2 of them. They were not there in the manner of a confrontation. They were there in the manner of people following a logged complaint, which is a different quality of presence entirely. They asked to speak to the general manager and the front desk manager. They asked to review the found property log for the previous day. They asked Tyler, the 24-year-old, to confirm what he had observed at 9:23. Tyler confirmed it. Craig Devlin was asked to produce the envelope. He said he had locked it in the hotel safe pending identification of the owner. He produced it. The bonds were inside. He said he had meant to log it, but had been interrupted by an operational issue. He said the housekeeper had misrepresented what she had seen. One of the officers asked to speak to Delia separately. She told them exactly what she had told Morris and the lost and found coordinator and the non-emergency line. In the same order, in the same words. She had written it down the night before in the notes app on her phone, which she now read from. The officer looked at the timestamps in her phone and wrote them down. The envelope was placed into a police evidence log pending identification of the owner. Craig Devlin was not arrested. What happened to him happened in the days that followed, in the specific institutional process of a corporate hotel chain's HR department responding to a police-logged complaint and a general manager who had to decide which version of events was more defensible. It moved slowly, and it moved away from Devlin. On the 3rd day, a call came through the hotel's guest relations desk from a solicitor in Birmingham, England, representing a woman named Vera Okafor-Bell, who had been a guest at the Meridian Grand 3 days prior under the company card registration. The solicitor said Mrs. Okafor-Bell had been in Nashville for a medical appointment and had accidentally left a personal item in the Penthouse suite. He described the item specifically. Linda from Lost and Found had been waiting for exactly this call. She had the police case number and the contact officer's details ready. The solicitor made contact with the police. The police confirmed the item was in evidence under a complaint filed by a hotel employee regarding failure to log found property. The solicitor asked for the employee's name. Linda gave it. Vera Okafor-Bell called Delia's cell phone on a Thursday afternoon. Delia was at the dollar store on Gallatin Pike when the call came in from a UK number. She stepped outside onto the sidewalk and answered. The voice was elderly, precise, British Nigerian, the voice of a woman who chose every word deliberately and had been doing so for 82 years. Am I speaking to Delia Washington? She said. Yes. My name is Vera Okafor-Bell. I believe you found something of mine this week. Delia stood on the sidewalk outside the dollar store with a shopping basket in her other hand. She said, Yes, ma'am. I understand you reported it. Yes, ma'am. To the front desk. To the general manager. To the hotel's lost and found coordinator. And to the police. Yes. A pause. Then Vera said, Do you know what the bonds were for? No, Delia said. I didn't open them past the flap. They were for my granddaughter's medical treatment. She is 23. She has a condition that requires a specialist in Houston. The treatment is covered privately. I brought the bonds because I was going to Houston from Nashville. A pause. I thought I had placed them in my case. I must have set them on the desk when I was reviewing the documents and then not picked them up again. Delia said nothing. When I realized they were gone, I believed they were lost permanently. I assumed whoever found them had kept them. I had reconciled myself to this. Another pause. I was wrong about that, Delia said. I couldn't keep something that wasn't mine. Vera was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Would you be willing to meet me? I will be in Nashville again in 3 weeks. I have business here. Delia said, Yes. She went back into the dollar store. She bought the things she had come for. She drove home. She sat in the parking lot of her building for 4 minutes before going inside, which was unusual for her. She sat there and looked at the windshield. She had not done what she did for anything other than the reason she had always done it. The reason was simple and did not require a longer sentence. It wasn't hers. She had spent 11 years not taking what wasn't hers. She was not going to start on a Tuesday morning. She went inside. She made dinner. She left Marcus's portion covered on the stove. What she did not know, sitting in that parking lot, was the other part of what was true. Vera Okafor-Bell had been coming to Nashville for 16 years. The medical appointments were one reason. The other reason was the Okafor-Bell Foundation, which Vera had established with her late husband in 2006, which focused on health access in underserved urban communities across the American South. The foundation had, over 16 years, contributed to the construction and operation of 7 community health clinics in 5 southern cities. One of those clinics was the Samuel J. Okafor Community Health Center on Gallatin Pike in Nashville, 3 miles from Delia's apartment. Delia's mother, Frances, had been treated at that clinic for the previous 3 years. Hypertension management, medication access, a diabetes monitoring program that Frances's own doctor had described as the reason she was as well as she was. Frances could not have afforded a private practice. The clinic charged on a sliding scale. For Frances, the charge was $12 per visit. Delia had driven her mother to that clinic 19 times. She had sat in the waiting room, read the foundation's name on the wall plaque above the reception desk, and not known anything about who was behind it. She found this out the week before the meeting. She found it the way people find things when they start looking, not because she was looking for it, but because Vera's solicitor had sent a packet of documents in advance of the meeting that included a foundation profile sheet, which included a list of funded facilities, which included the Samuel J. Okafor Community Health Center, and Delia had read the address and recognized it. She sat at the kitchen table with the document in her hands for a long time. Then she called Marcus. He was at home, between college and his night shift. He answered on the second ring. She told him all of it. The envelope. The bonds. Craig Devlin. The police. Vera. The clinic. He listened without interrupting. He was good at that. He had learned it from her. When she finished, he was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Mum," she said, "I know. You've been taking her to that clinic 19 times. He was quiet. You reported the envelope because it wasn't yours, he said. Yes. Not because of any of this. I didn't know any of this. A longer quiet. Okay, he said. And then, she's going to thank you. I don't need to be thanked. I know, he said. Let her anyway. The meeting was on a Thursday afternoon at the Meridian Grand, not the Penthouse floor. The lobby restaurant, a public space with afternoon light through tall windows, other people around, a pot of tea on a table in the corner section near the window that looked out onto Fifth Avenue. Vera Okafor-Bell was 82 years old. She was small, not frail, small, the specific compactness of someone who has spent a lifetime moving through the world at its own scale and in her own time. She wore a dark blue silk top over dark trousers. She had a cane she was not currently using, which rested against the table. She stood when Delia came toward her table. She was standing when Delia arrived. She had stood up for Delia. Delia stopped for a moment before she reached the table. Then she walked forward and they shook hands. Vera's hand was small and dry, and her grip was the grip of someone who shook hands because they meant something by it. They sat. They talked for an hour and 20 minutes. Tea and then coffee and then nothing because neither of them wanted anything else, and the conversation had found its own momentum. Vera said, "Tell me about your son." Delia told her. Vera said, "And the savings? The 14,000. Delia looked at her. She had not mentioned the savings. "I asked the Foundation's Nashville liaison to do a little background," Vera said. She said it without apology, not rudely, with the matter-of-fact transparency of someone who considers doing the homework a form of respect. I wanted to understand who I was meeting. I don't always do that. I did this time. Why? Delia said. Because the person who did what you did, 4 reports in one day, on your own time, against a manager who had authority over your employment, is not doing that by accident. That is a person who has been doing the right thing for a long time. I wanted to understand the shape of it. Delia looked at her hands on the table. The shape of it, she said. You gave her her medicine half pills at a time, Vera said quietly. Your mother. You drove her to my clinic 19 times. You saved what you could, month by month, for your son. She looked at Delia directly. That is the shape. Quiet, methodical, sustained. Not for an audience. Just because that is who you are. Delia said nothing for a moment. My mother used to say something, she said. She said, you don't practice honesty when it's convenient. You hold it when it costs you. Vera looked at her. Something moved in her expression. Not surprise, not warmth performed. Recognition. The specific kind that arrives when a thing you have always believed is confirmed by encountering it in a stranger. My husband said something similar, Vera said. She held the tea in both hands. He said, the only real test of who you are is what you do when nobody is watching. They sat with that for a moment. Then Vera said, I would like to do something. Not as a transaction. Not as repayment. You are correct that what you did is not a service that can be repaid. But as an expression of what it meant. Delia looked at her. Marcus's current student loan balance, Vera said. Delia went still. I'm told it's approximately $9,400, Vera said. The foundation has a discretionary fund for educational support in communities we work in. Nashville is one of those communities. The Samuel J. Okafor Center is one of our facilities. You are a community member in the precise sense the fund was built for. She paused. I would like to clear Marcus's balance and supplement your savings to the point where he can finish without working nights. So he can sleep. Delia was quiet for a long time. The lobby restaurant continued around them. A couple at the table to the left was looking at a menu. The server had brought more hot water and gone. Outside the window, Fifth Avenue in the Thursday afternoon went about its business. Taxis, pedestrians, the ordinary movement of a city that did not know anything about what was happening in the corner table near the window. Delia said, I want to tell you something honestly. Vera waited. I didn't report the envelope so that anything like this would happen. I know. I need you to know that I know you know, Delia said. Because I don't want what I did to be understood as something I did for a reason. I reported it because it wasn't mine. That's the whole reason. There isn't another one underneath it. Vera looked at her. I know that, Vera said. That is precisely why I am sitting in this chair. Delia pressed her lips together. She looked at the window for a moment. At Fifth Avenue. At the ordinary Thursday moving past the glass. Then she looked back at Vera and said, Yes, thank you. Craig Devlin's employment at the Meridian Grand was terminated 6 weeks after the incident, following an internal investigation that concluded he had deliberately withheld a significant found property item from the hotel's reporting process and had provided a false account of events to investigating officers. The termination was corporate, documented, and on his record. He was not criminally charged. The bonds had been recovered intact. The prosecutor's office reviewed the file and declined to proceed. That was the way that went. Keith Morris wrote Delia a formal letter of apology on Meridian Grand letterhead. It was 2 paragraphs. It acknowledged that her report had been handled poorly at the management level and that the outcome of the incident had validated her conduct. He signed it. She kept it in the drawer in the kitchen where she kept documents that mattered. Marcus's loan balance was cleared in December. He found out when a statement arrived showing a 0 balance and called his mother from the college parking lot in a voice that was trying to be calm and was not. She was at work. She stepped into the supply closet on the 15th floor and closed the door. Mum. I know. It's 0. I know. How? I'll tell you tonight. Come home for dinner. Don't go to work tonight. He said, I have a shift. Call in. Come home. It's one night. A pause. Then, okay. She wiped her face with both hands. Quickly, quietly, in the supply closet on the 15th floor of the hotel where she had worked for 11 years. Then she went back out and finished the floor. That evening, she made the dinner she had been making since Marcus was small. Jerk chicken, rice and peas, fried plantain, the specific meal that meant occasion in their house. She told him all of it over the table. The clinic on Gallatin Pike. The foundation. Vera. All of it. He sat with it for a long time. Then he said, You've been taking Grandma to that clinic 19 times. He looked at his plate. He looked at her. You had no idea, he said. No idea, she said. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, Grandma's saying is right. She waited. About the cost of it being the same, he said. She looked at him. He was 21 years old and he was going to sleep through the night and finish his degree and become whatever he was going to become. And she had not done a single thing in the last 11 years or the last 3 years or the last 3 weeks that she would not do again. Your great-grandmother said it first, she said. Your grandmother passed it to me. I'm passing it to you. He nodded. He served her the bigger portion. She noticed. She did not say anything. She had been noticing for a year and had been saying nothing for the same reason she had always said nothing. Some things didn't need naming. The Samuel J. Okafor Community Health Center on Gallatin Pike saw 412 patients in the quarter following the incident. Frances Washington was one of them. She arrived at her regular appointment in January to find a small framed photograph mounted in the reception area, near the wall plaque with the foundation's name, in the row of photographs that the center's staff had put up over the years to mark the people and moments that mattered to the building. The photograph showed Vera Okafor Bell and Delia Washington, sitting across from each other at a table near a window. Neither of them is looking at the camera. They are both looking at each other mid-sentence, in the specific quality of a conversation that has found its own weight and is proceeding in the only way it can. The photographer, the foundation's liaison, who had been in the lobby and had understood without being told that this was a moment worth keeping, had taken it from a distance, without interrupting. Frances sat in the reception area and looked at the photograph for a long time. Then she went in for her appointment. She did not mention the photograph to Delia. She carried it home in her own way, privately, the way mothers carry things about their children, completely, without needing to say it out loud. Wherever you are watching this from right now, Nashville, London, Lagos, Kingston, Cape Town, anywhere, drop your city in the comments. We want to know. This story started in a hotel corridor and ended in a reception area with a photograph on a wall. And the distance between those 2 points is the whole story. Drop your city. And if this story gave you something, the supply closet on the 15th floor, the bigger portion passed across the table, the thing that doesn't need naming, share it with someone who needs to hear that doing the right thing when nobody is watching is the whole thing. That is the whole thing. Subscribe to Noir Resurgence. Come back next week. Like this video if Delia Washington's 11 years stayed with you. We will be here with the next one. See you then.